Ever wondered if there's more plastic in our oceans than stars in the Milky Way? It's a daunting question to ponder, isn't it? And unfortunately the answer is not as far-fetched as it may seem. Imagine, if you will, the vast expanse of our world's oceans. Now picture this, an estimated 5.25 trillion pieces of plastic debris swirling in those waters. That's right, trillion with a T. It's an almost unimaginable number, and yet it's the harsh reality we face today. But the problem doesn't stop there. Let's delve a bit deeper. Picture all the fish in the sea, a staggering number in itself. But can you believe that the weight of the plastics in our oceans is predicted to exceed the total weight of these fish by the year 2050? That's a mere 26 years from now. It's a sobering thought that within our lifetime, our oceans could be more plastic than fish. Now consider this. Every year, we are adding to this problem. 8 million tons of plastic are dumped into our oceans annually. That's roughly the equivalent of one garbage truck of plastic being tipped into the ocean every minute. Every single minute. And where does all this plastic end up? In the stomachs of marine animals, washing up on our beautiful beaches, and even in the seafood we consume. Plastic pollution is not just an environmental issue, it's a health issue. It's a wildlife issue, it's a human issue, it's a chilling thought, isn't it? But what can we do about it? Well, that's a question we'll delve into as this journey unfolds. But for now, let's sit with this thought. Our oceans, the lifeblood of our planet, are in a plastic predicament, and it's up to us to change the tide. The repercussions of plastic pollution are far-reaching and devastating. Let's take a moment to delve into the dire consequences of plastic pollution on our marine life, the environment, and even our own health. It's a ripple effect that starts in the ocean's depths and ripples outward, impacting every facet of life on this planet. Did you know that each year, plastic entanglement claims the lives of over 100,000 marine creatures? That's right. From the smallest of fish to the largest of whales, no marine life is immune to the deadly snare of plastic waste. Our oceanic friends are dying at an alarming rate, and it's not just the entanglement that's causing havoc. It's estimated that a staggering 90% of seabirds have ingested microplastics. These are tiny plastic particles that, once swallowed, can cause blockages, starvation, and ultimately death. These tiny fragments of plastic, often smaller than a grain of rice, are being mistaken for food by our feathered friends. It's a sad and shocking testament to the magnitude of our plastic problem. But here's where it gets even more personal. The seafood that graces our plates is not immune to the plastic crisis. When we consume seafood, there's a chance we're also consuming the microplastics they've ingested. The long-term health effects of this are still being studied, but it's safe to say that plastic is not part of a balanced diet. The potential health risks range from digestive issues to more serious concerns like hormonal imbalances and cancer. And let's not forget the environmental impact. Plastic pollution is altering our environment in ways we're just beginning to understand. It's disrupting ecosystems, altering natural habitats, and contributing to climate change. The damage is extensive but not yet irreversible. As dire as this situation is, it's not too late to turn the tide. The next scenes will explore potential solutions to the plastic crisis, so stay tuned and remember, every bit of knowledge is a step towards a cleaner, healthier planet. Despite the grim reality, there's hope for our oceans yet. The plastic crisis may seem insurmountable, but never underestimate the power of human ingenuity. When we put our minds to it, we can create remarkable solutions. One such solution is the development of biodegradable plastics. These are materials that can decompose naturally in the environment, reducing the harm done to our oceanic ecosystems. Imagine a world where your takeaway cup or grocery bag breaks down into harmless components instead of lingering for centuries. But it's not just about creating new materials. It's also about changing our habits and regulations. Many regions around the world have already implemented plastic bans, prohibiting single-use items like straws, bags, and cutlery. These bans force us to rethink our reliance on convenience and consider the long-term impact of our choices. Encouraging recycling is another crucial step. Many of us are already familiar with the mantra, reduce, reuse, recycle. But we need to take it further. We need to make recycling easier, more efficient, and more widespread. We need to develop technologies and infrastructures that can turn old plastic waste into new, useful products. Of course, we can't forget about the plastic already polluting our oceans. There's a mammoth task ahead of us to clean up the existing mess. Innovative projects like ocean cleanup devices are emerging, designed to collect and remove plastic debris from our seas. These devices, combined with beach cleanups and other grassroots efforts, can help us reclaim our oceans from the grip of plastic pollution. In the end, it all comes down to us, to our choices, to our actions. We can choose to be part of the problem, or we can choose to be part of the solution. We can choose to ignore the plastic crisis, or we can choose to confront it head-on. It's not going to be easy. It's going to require effort, commitment, and collective action. But if we can muster the will to act, we can make a difference. We can ensure a healthier, cleaner, and more sustainable future for our oceans and for ourselves. Together we can turn the tide on plastic pollution. The situation is dire, but not hopeless. As we come to the end of our journey through the troubling reality of plastic pollution, let's remember the key points we've discussed. Our oceans are under siege, with plastic waste outnumbering the stars in the Milky Way. This is a man-made crisis with devastating impacts on marine life, our environment, and ultimately, us. But we are not powerless. We can each play a part in turning the tide on this plastic predicament. It's as simple as reducing our personal plastic consumption. Opt for reusable over disposable. Choose products with less packaging. Participate in beach cleanups. Advocate for policies that limit plastic waste. Every action, no matter how small, contributes to a larger collective impact. So let's roll up our sleeves and dive into this fight against plastic pollution. There may be more plastic in our oceans than stars in the Milky Way, but with concerted effort, we can change that reality.